Hey everybody, my name is Reno King. We're my worldwide headquarters, Armor Coating and Mid-10 Designs. I got Brendan Joyner on the phone right there. Hey! So I got this big boy back in the back. We were doing some stainless steel welding last night, so don't mind it. The shop's pretty cramped, but this is part 2 of our 3-part series, you know, kind of our walk around the shop. Just talk about what I got going on and how I'm operating it. So today we're gonna get into the stripping and sandblasting. Not a lot of people think that or not too many people out there think there's more into sandblasting and stripping than there is. They just put some sand in a system and go, but it's very important to have certain types of media. I've went through about 4 types since me doing this powder coating. First I started with a blast cabinet, which I no longer really use anymore. And aluminum oxide, and then I went over to cold slag, like a 3060 grit, and then I got a bigger setup, and I was buying cold slag in the 4,000 pound, but it was eating my metal up too much. And this is where I started getting really in depth into the, you know, type of profile, the white blast, you know, really getting into keeping your media clean and getting that nice clean surface profile on the part you're about to coat. So it's really important for the finished product, because we all know in the powder coating industry 90% of the work is prep work. The other 10% is the powder coating in the oven, you know. And all that prep done correctly, or how you do the prep, determines the outcome of the product. So we're gonna go out here and kind of look. Don't judge me, I'm out in the country, but it works. And I'm probably not using the right container for the stripper, but it works. So let's go out here and see what we got. So this kind of goes along. I have a hot pressure washing system, and this is around 2,000 PSI, and then I have a 4,000 PSI pressure washer also. That's what we, you know, spray off and degrease and remove any contaminations from the metal before we blast it into in the blast room, because we don't want any grease or dirt mixed with our media when we're blasting, because then that contaminates it and gets all that stuff over other parts, because I recycle my media too. So what I have here is just a simple strip tank. This is something I got at Rural King. It's a horse trough feeder, but there's super speed, or pretty equivalent to B17 in there. It's supposed to be in high density plastic, but this is low density plastic, which is a whole lot cheaper and readily available at your store. It's supposed to not work, but it's been in there since July of last year, so far it's working. So, and then I got a little dip tank that I dip, and it has a pH booster and a water rinse in it and stuff like that. And this is my 4,000 PSI pressure washer. You know, this is what I pressure wash all the chemicals off of it and everything like that. So this is what I run currently, is a 185 CFM diesel powered Ingersoll Rand. Really great little system, does everything I needed to do. I do wish I had more CFM, but the more CFM you get, the more expensive it is. Running in here to, so this is the media I use. There's a lot of great media out there, but it's also what's available close to you, because if you don't have it really close, it costs a lot of money to ship it, because, you know, 55 pounds for a small bag. I use Barton high performance water jet abrasive. It's an 80 grit. Literally no dust, and little to no dust, and I can recycle it multiple times, and it still performs just like it does in the beginning. There is another company out there, 10X, Jake Valancourt. He's a great dude, but the deal is with this, I can get it for about $14 a bag, which I think is around 27 cents a pound. Don't get me wrong on that, but there's math involved. 27 cents times 55 pounds. So It's around $14, $15 a pound. So I buy a pallet of it, 2,200 pounds, around 500 something, 600 bucks from Holston Gases here locally. The 10X and other garnets I could never get because it would be a $600 to $1,000, but then they'd also charge me $500 to $600 on top of that to have that stuff shipped to me. And it's not very cost effective in my outlook, because these are usually, as long as you keep what you got going and rolling, it'll work. Now I did use some 48, not 4080, I guess it was like 80 grit crushed glass, which is really great, but it breaks down really, really fast. So you don't get a whole lot of recyclability out of it. I did get like 3,000 pounds at a time, around 350 bucks, which was great, but I had to go to Ashland City, which is like an hour from here, to pick it up. Holston Gas delivers my sand now, so still same price, no delivery charge. Because I buy all my propane from them too. This is another cool deal. I get tons of discounts because the amount of propane I go through every month. So as my blast pot, I use a Pirate brand Soda Storm blaster. It's a multimedia, so it'll shoot soda, and there's a valve, a sleeve in the right above the metering valve, or in the metering valve, where I can use. There's 4 different types of orifices with that metering block in there, metering sleeve for soda, which I haven't really shot any soda out of here, but I will probably later on down the line. But and then there's another sleeve just strictly for all other medias. So that's what I have in there right now. It's about a 3.5 cubic foot. I have a refrigerator system, a Nova 3 blast helmet and suit, a filter system for my fresh air, and then oil water separator system after the refrigerator before it feeds into my deal. And then there's another water separator on here because that thing generates a lot of heat. Especially in the summer times when the humidity's out, that thing is pouring water with air because it's, compressing all that humidity and stuff and getting it hot, and then it cools down. There's a lot of water exchange. But this is pretty much it. I blast everything here, got a little fan to pull out the excess dust in the back, works really great. Every once in a while I gotta replace the motor or the fan because it just, after a while, the sand running through those pulleys and stuff kind of eats it. And I've had pulleys just sitting here blasting, all of a sudden the pulley just goes pew, and it's just 8.5. But hey, they're cheap. They're like 300 bucks at Lowe's or Home Depot, and it works great for pulling my sand. I like to have it a certain distance away, and I kind of put it at this line so the majority of the sand, the heavy sand, falls, but the dust keeps collecting and rolls out the outside. It's kind of as I worked in here, the position of where I put it in here with the fan and the open side, it was a great exchange of air, and it was pulling the dust out without taking the sand with it too. Too much of the good reusable sand. And pretty much I do a 2 filter system, so I sweep it all up in a pile and filter it. I got a grate out there that I put on top of here, filter it, pre-filter, and then when I put it into my blast pot, there's a filter here on the top. Pretty thin, I guess you just want it a little bit bigger. If you get any moisture, you kind of screw yourself on that because it won't roll through it unless it's super dry. And pretty much this is it. I mean, pay attention to your media types. 80 grit, garnet up to like 120 grit, and that's the same on aluminum oxide, but aluminum oxide has chemicals in it. You're not supposed to breathe that stuff in, so be sure you're wearing a respirator. That's why I use garnet, because it's a clean, inert, natural organic substance. It doesn't, of course too much dust, if anything, will hurt you, but I use that respirator system with a Nova 3, so it keeps all the dust and stuff out of my breathability. And be wary with glass because it wears out pretty fast and it embeds sometimes into the metal, and it'll cause outgassing problems in the powder coat process. And then coal slag is great, but it tends to be inconsistent in size, and it will eat up aluminum parts and pit them up pretty bad if you're not paying attention. And yeah, I used 3060 when I was doing it, but even then I think 3060 was a little too rough for aluminum wheels and stuff. So, but hey, thanks for watching. You know, we just wanted to do a real quick walk around on what I had set up. Next one, we're gonna go over the metal side and our fabrication setup, which is not much, but hey, it gets us through the day and it makes products. So be sure to like and subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Armor Coating, my Facebook and Instagram, and then Mid-10 Designs have a Facebook. We haven't made an Instagram for those guys, but please check it out and stay tuned for more videos, and we'll try to shoot the next one in a week or so. We'll go over all the fabrication side. We appreciate it. You guys have a great day. Thanks.